Hey Uriel, came here, just got back in from the gym, and I wanted to take a few minutes to answer one of the questions that I recently posted on my Eating for Energy blog, and that was, what are some of your biggest healthy eating challenges or challenges to eating well? And I want to deal with one of them today, and that's basically how to overcome that sweet tooth, the need for dessert after a meal at night. Well, the key here is that obviously there's somewhat of a sugar addiction or a candida issue that needs to be addressed. And really the best way to do that is through a cleanse program like our Total Wellness Cleanse. But on a more simple level, really what you have to have is you have to have solutions. You have to understand that most likely you're going to feel like something sweet after dinner. So you have a couple of choices. You can have a healthy sweet, something small, not a huge portion, so not a whole pie, but maybe, a little piece of a pie. And that pie should obviously be very healthy. Now, I'm using a pie as an example. That's not a very good example, but a better example would be a raw dessert. Something maybe fruit-based, a raw chocolate, something like that, that you wait at least, a good half hour, 45 minutes after your dinner to enjoy. That kind of leads me to the second point. Wait after you're finished eating. Just give yourself some time. Give yourself a good 30 minutes. See how you feel. Ask yourself, why do I feel like I need to eat something now? Is it because you've been brought up in a household that where your parents basically had a dessert after every single dinner, and that's how you've been conditioned? If so, you have to recognize that and realize, if it's not necessarily a physiological need, more so than a conditioning need, then we can break that, right? And the simple way to do that is simply have solutions, alternatives. For instance, going for a walk after dinner can be something simple to get rid of those cravings. Drinking water is another solution that you can have. Drinking even like a herbal tea, like one of the ones I like to have a lot of times is licorice tea, licorice root tea, because it actually has a bit of a sweet tinge to it, and a lot of times it satisfies that need. Because what you've most likely realized is that when you give into that sweet indulgence after dinner, you don't necessarily feel that good afterwards or the next morning. So it's about being satisfied with the meal you've had and then having alternative solutions to overcome those obstacles when they present themselves. Okay? So a healthy, small portion of a little, sometimes a very simple analogy is, instead of how a lot of people crave chocolate, right? And a lot of times it's not even having a lot of chocolate, it's just having one. That little taste is all you need to satisfy that urge. So if it's chocolate you want, have just one little piece of chocolate, and preferably, raw chocolate, or at least 70% dark cacao would be the best alternative. So just one square, not the whole thing. And you'll find that if you wait 15-20 minutes after that, you won't even feel like having any more. It's just because, a lot of times it's habit. We'll sit on the couch, we'll start eating, and it becomes either a boredom thing or it becomes like an automatic pilot thing where we're watching TV and we're not even watching what we're eating. It's like one of the movies, you're just eating popcorn, like you're not even conscious of this whole process, this hand to mouth. Like as I'm watching this movie here, I'm just like on autopilot. So we want to avoid that. We want to become more conscious and be aware of what's happening in our body and what it's telling us that we need. So a very small quantity of something sweet if you need, or alternatives in place. Go for a walk, go for a workout, a half hour after you finish eating. Get busy. Don't sit around and feel bored, because boredom is one of the ways that we obviously tend to, one of the situations where we tend to eat a lot. So hopefully that gives you some answers and some solutions to this eating late at night, having to have desserts type of question. And again, if you want, if you're a real sugar monster, that's my weak spot too, is the sugar and the sweets. Realize that sugar is bad. It's not good. So you really want to find a way to get some of that addiction, get some of that sugar residue out of your body. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning, a cleansing program is great. So if you want to have a look at our Total Wellness Cleanse, that's probably the best solution that I can give you, as obviously one of our biggest goals in that cleanse is to remove sugar addictions. Anyways, that's a topic for another video, but I just wanted to pop in and give you an answer to that question.